rising up was started to test out kind of forms of non-violent civil disobedience around different environmental issues. And then we decided that it needed to focus on the whole issue and something much bigger, which was the ecological and climate emergency that we're facing right now. And so we moved into Extinction Rebellion. Then Extinction Rebellion was really started with about 10 people. And the first thing that we did was we did talks all around the country. So we did over 60 talks about the climate and ecological emergency, giving people facts about climate change and what's happening now. And we also talked to them about non-violent civil disobedience and the history of that over the last 100 years, how that's been an effective route to change. There's lots of people using civil disobedience and non-violence in climate activism, but I think the difference here was some of our activists were saying, we're going to keep doing this until you put us in prison. And they've been willing to take that risk because they're saying that this is an emergency now, and we're going to keep taking action until those serious consequences happen. And they know that either they could ignore us and we'll keep taking action and we'll keep causing disruption, or they take a harder line and then we get a lot more publicity and a lot more support. That's what we call the backfiring effect. And then in October 2018, we declared rebellion against the government, and I was arrested along with a small group of people, but it was still fairly small. We had about 1,000 people on the street. And then a month later, we had 5,000 people on the street, which blocked 5 bridges over the Thames, and we shut down London for the day. And that really sparked the beginning of much more people coming on board to build up to what we saw in April, where we had the international rebellion. When we got there on the first day, these groups from around the country who've been trained up and been put into affinity groups were given a location in London, and then people were sitting down on the road and saying, we're not going to move. And we had no idea how long it was going to last. The police started making arrests at some of the sites on the first day. By doing it in London, that's where the media are, that's where the politicians are. It was people coming from all around the UK to put pressure on the politicians to do something about this. And we saw after those 11 days, Parliament declared a climate and environment emergency, which is really amazing. We still need government to accept it as well and follow through with actions, which is our second demand. And our third demand is for them to form a citizens' assembly, which is like the things that we were running in the streets, except it's selected democratically, a bit like a jury is selected. We're looking to the movement internationally now to lead us and decide when the next moment where we all come together in an international rebellion will be, but that doesn't stop all of our regional groups going out and taking action whenever they want. And that's what's quite amazing about Extinction Rebellion, is it doesn't rely on a central body to say when or what can happen. People can get together and decide what they want to do. We're releasing a book. This is not a drill, it's a handbook to become an Extinction Rebel, basically. And my part in the book was writing a section about how to block bridges. This handbook hopefully will let other groups learn how to take non-violent direct action. And the fact is, you don't need to do an A to B march anymore. You actually have the right to take civil disobedience, and you can put a lot more pressure on politicians by doing that. If we don't change the way things are going, our children's lives are really at stake, and they're showing us that now by coming out on the street in the millions with these youth strikes, that they really care about their future. And I think all of us need to see that and change our ways and start acting and really putting pressure on politicians. And the best way to do that is through non-violent civil disobedience.